Hello, hello. Welcome, sons and daughters of the Most High God. My name is beloved Rachel of Receive the King Ministries, where we equip, empower, and enable 1 million people to share the gospel 1,000 times. Holy Spirit, prepare our hearts, our minds, our homes, our families, the world, and Israel to receive our King, Yeshua, the Messiah. So today's message is, let them go. You are not called to compromise. Let them go. You're not called to compromise. So what the Lord is saying to me is that someone is regretting what they did to you, concerning you, about you, and how they even communicated about you to other people. Maybe not even necessarily to yourself. In some cases, yes. But they're too stubborn right now to apologize. You may have seen them. You may see them. You may work with them. You may see them in passing on occasion. And even though like they have nothing that they can say to you, nothing that they can hold against you, because of what they've said in secret or behind closed doors, or maybe even like wrongly to your face, like made assumptions about you, they're regretting how they treated you. But they're too stubborn to apologize. They're too stubborn to admit that they were wrong. And now, normally you might think like that, just like talk to them, talk it out, like, try to work out like their misunderstanding and help them like come to this place and make it easier on them to apologize and to make the situation right again. Of course, as much as it has to do with you, be at peace with everyone. And so to you, maybe usually that would mean that you would go to them and try to work it out. But the Lord, if this message is for you, the Lord is saying like that is not the way that he handles every situation. It's not how he handled every situation. And so the Lord brought me to Matthew chapter 13. And this is verses 53 to 58. And I'm going to read it in two different versions just because I really like the more traditional version, and then I really like the Message version. The Lord's just been like, I've just been having fun reading that. Never really been called or interested in reading the Message that much, just occasionally. Yeah, so I'm going to share that with you. So here's the Lord brought to my attention concerning this word is, when Yeshua had finished these parables, this is chapter 13, verse 53. When Yeshua had finished these parables, he left and went to his hometown. There he taught them in their synagogue in a way that astounded them, so that they asked, "Where do this man's wisdom and miracles come from? Isn't he the carpenter's son? Isn't his mother called Miriam, and his brothers Yaakov, Joseph, Simon, and Yehuda? And his sisters, aren't they all with us? So where does he get all this?" And they took offense at him. But Yeshua said to them, "The only place people don't respect a prophet is in his hometown and in his own house." And he did few miracles there because of their lack of trust. All right, that's such a beautiful verse, and I want to read it to you again from the Message translation, just for fun. Okay, so here it is, Matthew chapter 13, verses 53 to 58. When Jesus finished telling these stories, he left there, returned to his hometown, and gave a lecture in the meeting house. He stole the show, impressing everyone. We had no idea he was this good, they said. How did he get so wise, get such ability? But in the next breath, they were cutting him down. We've known him since he was a kid. He's the carpenter's son. We know his mother, Mary. We know his brothers, James and Joseph, Simon and Judas, and all his sisters live here. Who does he think he is? They got all bent out of shape. But Jesus said, a prophet is taken for granted in his hometown and his family. He didn't do many miracles there because of their hostile indifference. Okay, so the thing I really like about this is what the Lord is showing me is that the miracle that he's doing in you and that he's able and desires to do for them is really shocking for them because of the way that they've seen you. So that means that the Lord is saying that there are people around you who have discredited you, just for your very lack of like being already known by them. And they're kind of like regretting their decision about that. Like they want the miracles. They want to be part of this great thing. They're actually close enough that they could be like, intimately part of this great and amazing move of God. But they're too stubborn right now. They've been, they were gossiping and character, slandering your character behind your back and maybe even to your face. And, they just didn't like believe you because they know you too well. They maybe saw you grow up, or maybe they've seen you in a difficult circumstance, or they saw your challenges. They saw the, mountains you had to overcome or that you're overcoming. And they don't believe that somebody who would have such a strong struggle or mountain would have such a, wisdom or favor from God. They assumed that it had something, like you were at fault or whatever the situation may be. And so God is saying right now they're too stubborn and let them go. You're not called to compromise. You're not called to explain it to them. You're not called to, to sit down and really give them the, hand-tailored experience that they feel that they deserve. But God's not calling you to that. He's just saying, like, let them go, because they're going to have to figure it out on their own. But at the same time, the Lord is also saying that, take comfort. Don't feel like you're abandoning them. Don't feel like you're not loving them, because he says the first will be last and the last will be first. And so because they knew you first, they were last. But when they're last, they become first. And so, the Lord is just showing me like that their blessing is still going to come, and it's going to come last, but then their blessing is going to be big because, they're going to be first because they were last. Anyway, so the Lord is just saying, like, trust him in your walking away and letting them go. And maybe you're not walking away. Maybe you have the door wide open, just like with Jesus, like anybody who was there could continue to follow Yeshua to wherever he was going. Many people followed him. They just continued to follow him wherever he went. He didn't wait for the itinerary from his event coordinator. He went wherever the Lord told him to go, and if people wanted to be part of that, they just went. And so everyone who was in his hometown could also go too. And so he's just saying, like, the door is wide open for them. The heart of love is there. The miracles are, they're not withheld because of a lack of love or a lack of God's like love for them or, favor on their life. No, it's just because their heart is like, stubborn. And really it like requires them to go think outside of the box about who God is and about their own assumptions, and maybe take some ownership for the areas where they miscalculated. And maybe they owe you an apology as well, especially because of that closeness. But, you're not waiting for that. Yeshua didn't wait around for that. He didn't expect that. But they will all meet him in heaven, and just like, I believe, like, just like with Joseph, Yeshua had that moment too on the cross where he just like cried and, was in agony, just like Joseph when he saw his brothers again and he was crying in the other room. He was in agony. He was hurting because of the betrayal, because of how much it hurt. And at the end of the day, though, like, his brothers got the favor, like first favor. And in that same way, Yeshua's family, his hometown, also received that, favor. They're receiving that favor in heaven, that first fruits. And there's so much joy in that. And so trust that every single person who you love is still going to receive everything that God has for them through you. It's just going to be in the timing that God is just appointing for them at that time. And you have to trust God's timing. So God bless you. And I pray that this message encourages you to continue to walk by faith in the way that Yeshua lived his life, not following always that, worldly wisdom, but really just listening to the Holy Spirit and allowing him to take you in the way that he went, wherever he's going, whatever he's doing. That's the place that has the grace for you. God bless you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. And also like, share, and subscribe. Okay, bye.